How you doing, YouTube? My name's Joe. I'm a prepper. Not a professional, completely a novice. Not a professional YouTuber. This is actually the first video I've ever put together. And I'm just flipping it up on my phone real fast. Nothing makes me more upset than when people take advantage of other people's ignorance and just lack of knowledge. I've been a mechanic for many years. Before I was really a mechanic, I was involved with car stereos and car audio and 12-volt electrical systems and car alarms. I'm not claiming to be an engineer, but I have a very practical, real-world working knowledge of 12-volt DC electrical circuits. Being in the prepper community, I'm starting to see more and more videos of people explaining about EMPs and EMP proofing their cars. There's a product on the market right now that is claiming to protect the entire vehicle's electrical system with a little box from the hardware store and 3 wires. Now, right off the bat, the very first thing that's a red flag to me here is these people are touting what sounds to be like nothing more than a surge protector as an EMP shield. Number one, an EMP moves at the speed of light. It happens in the upper atmosphere. It's a daisy chain array of electrons bouncing into each other, creating a domino effect. It fries micro circuitry. If it's a microprocessor, if it has transistorized circuits like LCDs or microchips in them, it basically burns the connections out and welds them together. You'll have a solid, slightly warm chunk of metal for about a blink of a second, and that's it. It's welded together. It is no longer multiple pathways. And this device somehow is going to protect your car's ECU and all the various electrical systems, according to the product, by shunting this pulse either through your battery or through your vehicle's frame. And let me just, without getting too detailed, let me explain very briefly. The 3 wires. One goes to the positive terminal on your battery. One goes to the negative terminal on your battery. And here's where anyone who understands about cars is immediately going to go, this is BS. The 3rd wire goes to the frame of your car. And somehow there's a differentiation in this magical circuitry between the negative terminal on your battery and the frame of your car. Because every vehicle that uses a 12-volt electrical system with negative ground, the negative terminal of your battery, electrically speaking, is the same exact thing as the frame of your car. You can literally follow the wire, usually 6 to 8 inches long, from the negative terminal on your battery directly to the frame of your car. So having 3 separate wires, one going to the negative terminal on your battery and one going to the frame of your car, it's electrically invisible, short of a absolutely indiscernible micro amount of ohms resistance in the wire going from one terminal to the other. There is no difference. None whatsoever. You cannot feasibly, with any amount of electrical engineering, explain to me how the negative terminal in your battery and another wire connected from it to this magic box going to the negative side of the frame of the car is going to do anything except fleece you out of money with a false sense of security for an event that, if it ever did happen, would render your vehicle useless, most likely shut down all means of communication and network viability and the internet. You're not going to get your money back, and they know this. There's no way for you to file a claim or let the world know that, hey, this product didn't work. Go, imagine that. Go figure. We're all screwed. Don't spend your money on this garbage. This is, it just enrages me if you can't tell. It's complete crap. There are such things that can EMP-proof electrical devices. And they're not going to be done with 3 wires connected to your battery and your frame. It doesn't even begin to address vehicles that have a positive ground system or cars that use a fiberglass body structure like Corvettes or any of the newer BMWs that utilize carbon fiber construction. What are you grounding to there? I mean, the device just physically can't do what they're suggesting it does. And according to their website, and according to some of their own videos that they've put out, one of their home devices is supposed to shunt this EMP force away from all the electronics in your house by flipping the breakers, by causing your breakers to flip. Well, if that were the case, then every single home in America that has modern breakers from the last 50 years wouldn't need this anyway, because a electrical surge, like a lightning bolt or something of that nature, would cause the breakers to flip, and thus nothing would go wrong. So you add this device to your electrical box. When it senses a surge, it causes your breakers to flip. Well, your breakers can't flip fast enough. They physically can't. That's just not what they're designed to do. They're designed to prevent too much amperage draw, which would generate heat, which would cause electrical circuits to burst into flames. Causing your breaker to flip because it detects a pulse, it wouldn't do any good. The pulse would be through the line already. You're talking about something that's moving at the speed of light. It doesn't work that way. And to suggest that your entire home is now protected because your breakers will flip, what does that do for all of the devices that we know are going to be fried, like cell phones and digital watches and pacemakers? I mean, if I park my car in the garage and my garage door is closed and an EMP happens, how would this device being hooked up to the house protect anything? This idea that you have this whole house protection based on it'll trip your circuit breakers. At most, at absolute most, these things are glorified surge protectors. That's it. And you can get them, you can get surge protectors, you could build surge protectors, you could have them from the power company. There are so many other ways of doing this. And I'm not trying to put a small business on blast here. And if these people are trying to make a living and they think they've got a device that's great, hey, that's wonderful. But I'm going to go back around to the fact that they're billing a product as being capable of protecting an ECU, which is 2 to 3 feet away from your battery. In most vehicles, it's in the interior of the car. A lot of modern cars have multiple computer systems, not just one brain. If you have an automatic, there's usually a transmission control unit that might be mounted to the side of the transmission. You've got ignition control modules that are solid state circuits that are in epoxy coated boxes bolted to the side of the motor. They do part of the job. Then you have the actual ECU itself. Then you have things called body control modules. They control things like your headlights. There's so many systems that work together that operate on micro circuitry. I mean, fragile, little, tiny, width of your hair interconnection points. Some of them are modernized with something called a CAN bus system, which means one computer can talk to the other computer and daisy chain the information from where you're pushing a button on your steering wheel to cause a delay on the rear wiper. It's advanced stuff. There's millions of lines of code in some of these vehicles. And you want me to believe that by connecting a little wire from the chassis to the negative terminal on the battery, which is electrically the same circuit, will somehow protect these advanced pieces of electronics. And that is why I call BS on all their products. Because if you're going to be dishonest about one, I can't believe anything you say. Peace out.